Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of the Mannschrecks. As always, I am your host JJ, and here with me is my wonderful wife Sarah.
Hey.
Are you ready for this?
I am.
I'm so it's New Year 2023.
It's true. It's
2023,
true.
baby.
You can edit that out.
I will.
Thank you.
No, I won't.
Oh.
All right, but I'm excited. We've got some fun. We're going to introduce a new game today. We've got some awesome news stories. It's going to be a wonderful podcast. So let's dive right in. Are you ready? This is my classic line. Are you ready to approach the news desk?
I am. Do you want me to go first?
Of course.
Okay.
I love it.
All right, so this is a crazy story. Well, I guess it's not that crazy. Veterinarians remove 38 hair ties from a cat's stomach.
Ugh, the cat ate them. I'm not gonna lie to you. When you said, "Oh, look at that," there's a picture. When you said veterinarians, I was thinking veterans.
Why? Why were the veterans performing cat surgery?
I have no idea, but in my brain, I was like...
So a cat that was sick was brought to a South Carolina animal hospital and is recovering still after the surgeons removed 38 hair ties from the cat's stomach. Ugh.
That's so gross, man.
Gosh, the cat had been left outside at a home when the former residents moved out of state.
But where are you finding
So somebody
38?
brought the cat in.
So they just found... This is a cat, like not somebody's cat, but this cat was found outside.
The cat was becoming lethargic and not eating. So someone brought the cat in and they did a scan and found that it had blockage in its stomach.
Ouch.
So they decided to perform surgery. The veterinarian said, "I have never seen anything like it."
Yeah, man. I mean,
Ugh.
wow.
The cat is recovering, but the blockage led to a liver condition that now has to be treated as well.
Oh my gosh.
38 hair ties.
I can't...
What the heck? 38.
Were they like dipped in catnip or something? What would possess a cat to eat?
I don't understand.
Hair ties.
It's so gross. But like this poor cat, this poor cat.
Cat eats like one or two. That's something.
Seriously.
But 38 makes me think that they were like actively seeking them out. You know.
You know, but some animals, they have like a weird thing about eating certain types of things.
Yeah,
like,
is it like...
I don't know. Like I've heard of friends that are like, "Oh my gosh, my dog still eats socks," or like,
weird.
Just, I don't know. I feel like some animals, what it is, I don't know. Like they're attracted to it or something.
Yeah, they take a cat into the vet. Hey, we found this cat outside. The vet says, "Let me do a scan," and there's a weird clump there.
Ugh, that's
and
so
they
gross.
pull out a giant
38 hair ties. It had formed into a giant mass that was blocking the cat's insides.
That's so gross.
Oh, I can't imagine how much pain that cat was in.
All right.
It's just gross.
Buffalo couple takes in 10 South Korean tourists stranded during a massive snowstorm.
What?
So there's a Buffalo couple. It was like December 25th. It was like Christmas Day or the day.
Yeah, when the hurricane or the
once in a generation snowstorm. Yes. The severe weather had delivered a massive amount of precipitation and extreme temperatures that had people stranded, including a group of South Korean tourists. Luckily, this bus, like a 15-passenger van type thing, maybe it was a 12-passenger van, I don't know, but the van got stuck outside the house of Alexander Campagna and his wife, and probably Campaign, and his wife Andrea.
Wow.
The couple had been planning on spending a quiet holiday weekend at home and had stocked plenty of food in their pantry. So when they learned of the marooned group, they invited the tourists in to become accidental innkeepers. They had 10 tourists show up and live with them for 2 days.
I mean, what do you do? I mean, you kind of have to, right?
That was perfect.
That's like I mean, I would hope that if I broke down outside someone's house, they'd be like, "Yeah, why don't you just come on in?" Like,
yeah. So it was 2 guys who come to the door and they asked for shovels. Hey, can we borrow some shovels to dig out our car? And they're like, "Yes, of course, but also come inside our house and stay with us for 2 days."
Yeah.
I love that.
So
it's so above and beyond. The group of tourists was traveling up the East Coast and was en route to Niagara Falls. They had seen the sights in Washington, D.C., and they were largely unaware of the impending storm.
Oh.
So they're just tourists, and they're just hanging out. They have no idea what it could be like. The Friday before Christmas, the van got stuck trying to maneuver the deteriorating road conditions.
Wow.
2 of the passengers knocked on their door. The couple immediately brought them in.
Of course. That's so sweet. I love it.
This is a quote from the guy. Knowing as a Buffalonian, so that's people who live in Buffalo, as a
I'm learning new
Buffalonian,
things.
this is on another level, the Darth Vader of storms. Okay.
Oh, sure. Okay.
The visitors slept on air mattresses, couches, and sleeping bags, and in a guest bedroom. Of the visitors, 3 of them spoke English proficiently. They watched football and shared stories.
Hey, remember that one time we went to America and we got stranded in some like weird city, and then some people let us in? And
Hey, remember that one time we had
football?
Christmas and we had 10 extra guests just for fun?
That's a story. That's great. I love it. I love it so much.
The travelers appreciated the impromptu hospitality, and it was something neither party will soon forget. It was kind of like fate, remarked one of the travelers who was on his honeymoon. Alexander echoed the sentiment, which he referred to as a blessing. We've enjoyed this so much. They are now planning a visit to South Korea. Apparently, the Korean tourists were able, and I'll post a picture. There's like a picture of this, like, there's so many people in this house. You know, it's just a bunch of like youngish people just hanging
That's
out.
so random. That's so
But
cool.
they had the ingredients to cook a couple of Korean dishes, and so some of the tourists cooked for them, and they were like, "We love Korean food, so
Oh,
this
hey,
is awesome."
that's really cool.
I love it. I thought it was so funny and just like such a heartwarming tale
Yeah, I
of
like
Christmas
that.
joy, and it was like, oh, it's a holiday season, and they were there to help out those.
Cross-cultural Christmas.
Ooh, I like that, cross-cultural Christmas. All right, what do you got?
Okay, this next story is just weird, but a couple of
That's what we do.
There's a supreme pun that I couldn't pass up.
Yes.
So a man from North Dakota got in trouble with the law after he raised a hatchet toward a convenience store clerk
What?
who tried to stop him from stealing donuts. So the man, now here's a name for the books. He's 36 years old, just my age.
Yeah, almost.
His name is Brentley Iron Road.
Iron Road.
Brentley.
Brentley Iron
Brentley
Road.
Iron Road
I
was
like it.
trying to steal some donuts from the local 7-Eleven.
Why?
I don't know why. Sorry.
What was that accent? That was my favorite moment. You have to do the rest of the podcast episode in
I
that
will
accent.
not. I refuse. He was stealing donuts. So the clerk stopped him, and he got annoyed and put the donuts in his coat, and then the guy confronted him again, and he got agitated and put the donuts back. But then when the clerk told him to leave the store, he whipped out a hatchet from his waistband and raised it toward the worker.
A hatchet? Oh my God. There are like 2 or 3.
I mean, it's North Dakota. I feel like
I guess.
North
My
Dakota.
goodness. But like, I have seen that in like 2 or 3 books and movies where there's like, you know, like in The Patriot, he wears a hatchet on his belt. But what on earth? Like, that's not something real people in the real world do.
So, do you want to know what town this
I do.
man is from?
I do.
Perfect for a
The
donut
battle
thief.
axe.
No, it's perfect for a donut thief. He's from Bismarck. So a man from Bismarck tried to
Steal donuts.
Tried to steal some Bismarcks.
Wow.
And he was mad about it. But he
That-
couldn't do it, so he raised a hatchet.
That is fantastic.
I couldn't deal with that story. So anyway.
A former Alabama prison guard was arrested and faces a litany of charges regarding promoting contraband in a state prison. So it's a prison guard who was selling stuff in a prison. The contraband in question? Hamburgers.
Oh, darn. Guys, Brian's selling hamburgers again. Quick, let's go.
Prison guard smuggled in hamburgers to sell to the inmates.
That's... I don't see a problem with that. I guess I don't really... I mean, everybody can enjoy some McDonald's once in a while.
I love it. Limestone Correctional Facility Officer Jason Chambers and his wife Sophia Chambers turned themselves in to the Limestone County Sheriff's Office after the Alabama Department of Corrections issued warrants for their arrest for smuggling and selling illicit hamburgers at the correctional facility over a 5-month period.
Oh, those illicit hamburgers, really.
The complaint on the warrant read, Agent Ken Pierce has probable cause for believing James Wesley Chamber ... intentionally and unlawfully makes, obtains, or possesses any contraband, to wit, hamburgers.
Wow.
It sounds like,
those real
he
offensive
makes the
hamburgers.
drugs, he possesses them, he's selling them. No. It's just burgers.
It's just the burgers. That's so interesting. I wonder why they're not allowed to have the hamburgers.
And I bet they are. It's just like extra or something, you know, like because hamburgers are not illegal or there's nothing illicit really, other than the fact that you're not allowed to you know, like it's like a specialty thing, you know. But a hamburger, it's not like he's smuggling in steak dinners or filet mignon or something. No. Court records show. Court records show that Jason Chambers faces 6 counts for promoting prison contraband, 7 counts for using his office for personal gain, and 1 count of conspiracy to distribute a controlled substance. Hamburgers, patties are a controlled substance. His wife is charged with 4 counts of bribing a public servant, 1 count of promoting prison contraband, and 1 count of conspiracy to distribute a controlled substance. So his wife was like also works at the prison and was helping out. In addition to the hamburgers, the complaint says the couple smuggled in a smartwatch and a National Geographic magazine. Who knew this is what people want in prison?
I know nothing.
Baffling, right? Hamburgers are the basis of most of the charges leveled against the couple. The couple were booked and released on a $5,000 bond. They were bringing... This is how the article ends. They were selling the burgers to bring home some extra bacon. They never thought long arm of the law would catch up to them.
Oh, that's painful. That's so painful.
And then it just says, sorry.
You should be sorry.
You should be. I thought that was so funny.
That's so weird.
I'm still trying to puzzle out, like, it must be something that, like, you eat what the cafeteria serves, and if you want other things, you don't get it. Like, it's part of the punishment or something. And the prison guard was like, well, I'll get you the good stuff. And you smuggle in... Do you remember, what movie is it? What's the football movie where they're all prisoners? Adam Sandler, they did a remake. Yard. Yeah, The Longest Yard. In that movie, there was a guy who got people like fast food from outside. That was like, remember? So that was contraband. And they would... My question is, how much money are you really making selling stuff to prisoners? Like, they don't have that much money in there. I know that they have like accounts that they're allowed to...
But like... I mean, I guess I don't really understand how you would benefit from selling hamburgers to inmates.
Like, my understanding was that, and maybe I just don't know anything, but like prisoners, when you go into prison, it's a little weird, but it's almost like, did you ever go to camp as a kid where they would have like a store and your parents would put like $20 in the store, and then throughout the week you could go in and like buy a candy bar or whatever and take it off the tab?
No, we never did that.
No? Okay, so we had a camp store.
You actually had to pay money at the camp store where I was.
Yeah, so ours was like your parents could pay it up front. Put money and you had like a tab. My understanding is that when you go into prison, and again, I don't know anything, but I think you're able to take money from your personal bank, or your family can put money into an account, and you can use it while you're in prison to pay for select amenities and things that you might need to buy.
Okay.
Kind of like a camp store.
Okay.
But it's not like they're loaded with cash, right? Like I'm not really sure what the prison guard is gaining. Yeah. You know, how are they making money off of it?
I mean, he's just getting Burger King for his friends, man. What's wrong with that?
I just love that it's a substance they want so badly that they smuggle that in plenty. It's not even like... I guess I just, like, if you're gonna smuggle something in, go bigger than a hamburger, right?
I mean, man, when you gotta have a hamburger, you gotta have a hamburger.
Get some like pork loin, tenderloin, or
ribs.
Or like a dessert, you know, like a
chocolate cake.
Red velvet cake or something. Yeah, like that. That's
true.
Worth smuggling in. But a burger?
I mean, hey, you don't know. You've never been in prison. Maybe you really crave those burgers.
It's true. Maybe that's, just a sense of normalcy that they're this is what we want.
Gotta have those burgers.
All right, you ready to sponsor the sponsor of your life? For those who may not remember, the sponsor of our life portion is basically we're this teeny tiny podcast, and we don't have any sponsors even in the brand new year of 2023. However, there are so many awesome products and moments in our life that sponsor us and inspire us. We want to talk about them and pump them up even for free. We would love for them to pay us, so if they want to pay us, accounts are open.
Oh, yeah. We're here, we're waiting.
But because we're this teeny tiny podcast and we basically just do whatever we want, nobody's sponsoring us, so we just pump them up for free.
We sponsor them for free.
We do. We sponsor them. So, what is sponsoring your life today?
I have to say Goodwill lately, honestly. So I definitely, like, I went shopping at Goodwill around Christmas. For me lately, it's just their donations. Like, being able to just drop off. And our youngest is also very excited about Goodwill. But, yeah, so I definitely have been doing a lot of cleaning, a lot of organizing.
With the bringing in of new toys and stuff, we definitely wanted to purge old things.
I was able to convince our kids to pack up 4 large boxes of toys.
Yeah.
And we donated a whole bunch. And I can't even tell you what was in any of those boxes. And I don't think they will ever miss any of those boxes.
It's too much. They have so much stuff and it's years old and they get all this new stuff. And it's like, I am so thankful. And I'll tell you, you've used the Goodwill drop-off before. We have a Goodwill drop in Flushing.
Yeah, it's just a donation center.
It's beautiful though, because I've never utilized it, but you asked me to drop some stuff off like last week or the week before or whatever it was. And I just drive in and like 2 people just popped up out of nowhere and they were like,
unload it.
Yeah. And I was like, I stood there. I was like, can I help? Is there anything you need? And they're like, no, we got it. And they just like, and they were like, do you need a receipt? And I was like, nope, not this time. And it was so, it was seamless. It was simple. It was a wonderful thing to drop off. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to them.
Big time. All right, so coming off of the holiday season, right? It's a whole season. It's not just one date. We have Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, then we do family Christmas at one side, family Christmas at the other side, then New Year's Eve. Coming out of all of that, I gotta say, like, there was so much good food. And I gave a food shout out last week, but I'm gonna do it again this week. Sponsoring my life today is buffalo chicken cheese dip. I love it. It is so good. We had homemade brand. I think my mom made it at my family Christmas.
Oh yeah, I remember
and that was delicious. And then a couple days later, I saw it at the store, like a pre-made, and I was like, well, I gotta have some of that.
Round two.
So we had buffalo. I love me some buffalo chicken. You know, it's like a little zingy, it's a little spicy, but it's cheesy, and you can put it on crackers or dip or chips or whatever. It's good, and it's sponsored my life, and they're not even paying me to say it.
You're gonna have some of that after this.
I am absolutely. As soon as we're done recording, I am gonna go get that. But before we're done, and I go get my buffalo cheese dip, let's play a new game.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so this is a brand new game that we just came up with because that's what we do around here. This game is called Muppetize Me. In the spirit of Muppet Christmas Carol or Muppet Treasure Island. Are you criticizing my name-making ability?
Yeah, actually. I can't even pretend that I'm not.
Yes.
I totally am.
All right, so what you do is, and we're going to do Bible edition today, and I could see us bringing this back and doing it in different ways. But basically, what you do is you take a story, like a Bible story, and you replace all the characters with Muppets, like they did for Muppet Treasure Island and Muppet Christmas Carol. You know, you're allowed one or two, like a few human characters, but you got to name the actor that you want.
Okay.
So I posted it to Twitter, I posted it to Facebook. In a rare form, Facebook actually had more insights than Twitter.
Oh,
I think because it's harder than you think. This game is tricky.
Yeah, I actually had a hard time with this as well.
All right, so we'll share some of the Twitter ones and some of you, and you took a story and I took a story, and so we're going to present our Muppetized Bible stories.
Sounds good.
Do you want to go first?
Oh, gosh, no.
Do you want me to go first? All right,
Go
I'll
ahead.
go first. All right, so my first one is I'm going to Muppetize the story of Esther.
Oh, Esther. Okay. That's
Esther. All right, so I'll tell you, our boys got really into this game.
And by boys, you mean Liam.
I do mean Liam. He watched Christmas Carol recently, and he was like, and then so we were talking about this game around him, and he got so into it. He went and got his Bible out, and he opens it up, and he's like, well, what about this? And then we'll do this story. And he's got his little picture Bible, and he's like, well, this could be Miss Piggy, and he doesn't know all the names of the people.
He knows all the Bible stories. He doesn't know all the Muppets.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you, I don't know Muppets that well. You know Muppets better than I do. I didn't grow up with it, but since I got married to you, it's now a part of my life. So, the story of Esther. Yes. Miss Piggy is obviously Esther.
Okay.
Kermit has to be the king, and I thought it would be funny if he was like not actually mean, but people thought he was mean, and so he's just misunderstood, right? Gonzo and Rizzo get to be Mordecai together. Like
together.
Like there'll be, I think Gonzo's actually Mordecai, and then Rizzo's just like hanging out, right? Just sort of commenting, and
yeah,
Gonzo
he does provide a running commentary usually.
Yeah, so Gonzo will be the actual who's like, yeah, and Rizzo will be the one like, hey, what are those guys over there doing? And then they'll notice the assassination plot, and so yeah.
Gotcha.
And then Fozzy Bear has to be Haman. And because in an innocent way, all he wants to do is host a barbecue, which would be genocide for Miss Piggy's people.
Oh, this is good.
Because it's the pigs, right, that are the Jewish people, and he wants to host like a Hawaiian luau barbecue, and it's a hilarious misunderstanding because he doesn't realize that would mean that Miss Piggy would be in trouble.
Okay.
I just thought that was the perfect Muppet
clever.
Framework. I don't have any people in this story of Esther.
Yeah, that's cute. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. That's the genocide of pigs. Wow.
Because Fozzie Bear wants to have a luau.
Okay, I came up with it's just not as good. I had a hard time with this. I enjoyed listening to Liam's ideas, but I struggled with this a little bit. So the parable of the Good Samaritan. I was going New Testament here with mine.
Yeah.
And so we have an injured man on the side of the road. I thought maybe Johnny Depp could be a really good injured man for that.
He's the guy that gets beat up.
Yes, he's the guy that gets beat up and robbed, and he can roll around and act very injured and in pain.
Oh, he's not
but
dumb.
also incredulous at whatever's happening to him. So
that's awesome.
I thought maybe Sam the Eagle could come along and be the priest.
Yes.
And look very gruff and just I don't
strict. I like it.
We're going to go a little out on the limb here and say that the Levite could be Miss Piggy, who's just, I don't have time for you. I don't have time for you. And just, I don't want to go anywhere near. Going to walk on the opposite side of the road. And then, of course, Kermit can be the Good Samaritan.
Oh, Kermit gets to be the Good Samaritan. I like that. All right, there you go.
Back and...
So
that was my contribution. It was harder than I thought it was going to be.
It is. It's a fun idea, but it's like once you really get down to it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Here's some of the ones that were on Twitter. Muppetize Me, Bible Edition, the story of Joseph. Joseph is Kermit. Potiphar's wife is Miss Piggy, so she's throwing herself at Kermit. Potiphar himself is Animal, who goes crazy when he sees what happens.
Of course.
Pharaoh gets to be Sam Eagle, but he has a red, white, and blue headdress. The baker is Dr. Honeydew. The cupbearer is Beaker, who forgets to tell Pharaoh about Joseph. So Kermit's in prison and Beaker's going...
Of course.
And he's like spilling the drink everywhere. Joseph's brothers would be the Electric Mayhem Band. Reuben, which is the nice brother who tries to protect him, would be Fozzie Bear. And then Judah, who's the bad brother who has the redemption arc in the story, would be actor James McAvoy.
Of course.
And then Gonzo and Rizzo would be angels who show up and explain the dreams to Kermit.
That's good.
I just love the idea
that's great.
of Gonzo and Rizzo showing up as narrators like in Muppet Christmas Carol, but they're like little angels and they tell the story.
Cute. That's really cute. I like that.
All right, and the other one that came from Twitter is the Nativity. Mary gets to be Miss Piggy. Kermit gets to be Joseph. Baby Jesus is going to be Rizzo. The angels singing in the sky is the Electric Mayhem Band.
Oh, that's so good.
Fozzie Bear and Gonzo are they're the shepherds, and so in with the sheep are all of Gonzo's chicken friends.
Oh, he does,
right?
yeah, Camilla.
And then Statler and Waldorf are going to be like animals in the barn heckling. And Sweetums, the big guy, is going to be the innkeeper. And then the three wise men have to be actors Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Chevy Chase. The three amigos.
Boy, this is a vision.
I just want the Fozzie Bear voice of, let us go and see whatever they were talking about. And then he'll consult that little person that's hiding in his finger, right?
Yeah. He's a man that lives inside my finger.
Somebody said they should do the story of Noah, and it would be John Krasinski as Noah, and the Muppets are just all the animals.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's cute. I like that.
Daniel in exile. Kermit is Daniel. Rizzo is another Israelite, and Kermit keeps saying, well, we're not going to eat it every time Rizzo tries to, eat some junk food.
Or not going to eat it.
Esau sells his birthright. Esau can be animal, and Jacob can be the Swedish chef. Isaac is Kermit. Rebecca is Miss Piggy. There were a bunch of people who said, I want to do this, but I can't think of anything,
It's surprisingly tricky. It really is.
Yeah, it's very, very tough. Paul is the human standing there saying, "Do all things without grumbling or disputing." It says, Paul, as a human actor, standing there quoting, "Do all things without grumbling or disputing, that you might be blameless and innocent." And then the camera pans to the balcony where Statler and Waldorf suddenly look at each other, and then they burst out with the "boah ha ha," and then they start throwing rocks at Paul.
It's clever. I like that. I like that a lot.
The feeding of the 5,000 with the Muppets as all the disciples in Keanu Reeves is Jesus.
I love the idea of Keanu Reeves as Jesus. That's good. I would love to see his dynamic with the Muppets. Though.
Right? I think
just
he'd be
brilliant.
really good at it.
I would watch that movie. Let's pitch it.
Ooh, the Barabbas scene.
Yes.
Where it's crucify him, it's Statler and Waldorf from the balcony shouting for Barabbas.
Yeah.
Very nice, very
That's
nice.
Cute.
Oh man, I feel like it's such a fun idea, but it's actually tough.
It's a lot harder. It really is. I know. I also tried to do. I was trying to come up with the prodigal son, and for some reason or other, Liam Neeson kept coming to me as the father, which I didn't think that was quite right. But Gonzo would be the prodigal son.
Oh, okay, really?
And Sam Eagle would be the older brother.
Yes, he would.
Is just very intense.
He is.
I was just imagining this scene where there were a lot of pigs and Gonzo was eating out of a pig trough and the piggy just showed up or something.
And the chickens are there. And the chickens are there. I want to eat the pig's food.
It's hard. It really is.
Oh my gosh.
Hard.
Gonzo could be there and Miss Piggy could be eating the food, and she gets this gourmet meal and she's sitting there eating, and Gonzo's like, "I wish I could be eating," and she's like not sharing.
Of course, because it's Miss Piggy and she doesn't share.
That's good. I like that. Gonzo
But it really
is the prodigal son.
You think.
Well, and it made me have more respect for the creators of like Muppet Treasure Island and Muppet Christmas Carol. It's really actually quite challenging to like shoehorn these awesome puppet characters into existing stories.
Because they have such quirky personalities, and there's like a very clear personality for each character. So it's like what of character fits into each role. Like there's a lot of embellishment.
Yeah. Well, and
and interpretation.
I had a lot of fun though imagining like the different voices of like Miss Piggy as Mary in the nativity scene. She would be so funny. Like,
she would.
You know, like at the Inga, "What do you mean there's no room?" You know, and I can't do a Miss Piggy voice,
That's
but
really good.
it's pretty bad. I got to get some.
I know.
Frank eyes.
I kept trying to make. I couldn't come up with good ideas, like super good ideas, but I was like trying to imagine the story of like Lazarus being resurrected from the dead.
Nice.
It was like Kermit was Jesus and Fozzie was Lazarus, and there was this great dialogue in my head at one point, and I was like, man, this would be really fun. But yeah, it's tricky, but it's very cute.
The other piece that I never really noticed is that most Bible stories do not have that many characters.
Not really.
You know,
I didn't realize that until I was doing this too. I was like, it's really limited. So I'm trying to think of, so like the creation story, the birth of Jesus was like such a good one because there's so many components.
Wise men
there's
and
a lot
shepherds
of
and
different
angels
characters.
and innkeeper. Yeah, there's lots.
But yeah, I was looking at the life of Jesus and I was like, oh, some of them are like Jesus feeds the 5,000, and it's like, oh,
basically him.
So it's him and like a couple of disciples talk, but then like 5,000 Muppets.
Yeah.
Or, you know, what was the other one I was saying? Oh, it was Jesus calls his disciples. And I was like, oh, but it's not like the disciples really say anything.
Nope,
so it's not like,
just,
I got to
come
fit
and
that
follow
character's
me.
personality
The fisherman,
into there. So, yeah, I mean, you got a couple where like Jesus and one disciple, Jesus and Peter, or Jesus and, you know, it's just, I was like, man, this is not as, you know.
There would be some really fun, like, to make those bits and pieces and stories and stuff, but...
For sure.
All right, so we may revisit that. I think it would be also fun to fit, you know, like do a Muppet special, like Muppetize Me, and then pick like Star Wars or like, you know, a popular like Marvel or, you know, like redo not just Bible stories. We always get started with Bible stories, but to expand our games, it's fun to like, all right, what else can you put on this category? And I think
like Muppet Harry Potter.
Oh my gosh! Can we come up with that right now? I would love.
I don't feel prepared.
No, that's amazing. I love it. I want Fozzy Bear to be Dumbledore.
I think actually that Daniel Radcliffe needs to remain Harry Potter.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
And obviously Miss Piggy is Hermione.
Scooter could be Ron Weasley.
Oh yeah.
Isn't he redhead? Right? He's got got
true,
glasses, but he could totally be the. Yes,
And
I like
Sweetums
it.
could be Hagrid.
You know, the other thing I noticed though when we were doing this is there are not a lot of girl Muppets. We do not have a lot of choices
There aren't
outside
that
of
many
Miss.
female Muppets.
Yeah,
That's true.
And you never notice that until you start to try and do
That's
it.
true.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, so we'll come back maybe
We'll
next time.
revisit this.
Next time it'll be Harry Potter Muppetize Me. And if you guys think of any fun
Yeah, go ahead
Muppet
and throw those our way.
crossovers, the one that I love when people talk about is Princess Bride.
Oh,
A
that's
remake
good.
of The Princess Bride with Muppets
Yeah,
would
that would be funny.
amazing. I love that. Okay, so we'll come back. If you if you listen to us, rate us, leave a review. If you're on Spotify, mash that 5 stars. The more positive reviews we get, the higher we get boosted up in the algorithm and helps more people find this ridiculous, hilarious content.
All right. Thanks so much to the Music Time for the use of our theme song.
Yay.
And, like JJ said, check us out on social media. He updates all those pictures. You can see all the information from our stories, our goofy things that we share, and share your ideas on Muppetizing things. So
Yes,
be sure to check
I
that
hope
out.
people respond because I really want to get more ideas for that because that's so much fun. All right, you ready to send us out with the mom joke of the week?
I am.
All right, let's hear it.
All right. So how do you get a bull to stop charging?
Take away the red flag. I don't know.
Take away his credit card.
That's a good one to start the year because it was
thought
terrible. All right, everybody, have a great
All right.
week.
Bye, everyone.